Yeah, we're now live streamed.
Tim, if you could open the meeting.
All right, everybody, could we call to order? Good morning and welcome to the July 2nd, 2026 meeting of the ERCA Executive Committee. Call the meeting to order. We've just received requests from Tanya and from our chairperson, Molly Allaire. I'll do the land acknowledgement. I'd like to begin by acknowledging that this land is the traditional territory of the Three Fires Confederacy of First Nations comprised of the Ojibwa, the Adawa, and the Potawatomi peoples. We value the significant historical and contemporary contributions of local and regional First Nations and all of the original peoples of Turtle Island, North America, who have been living and working on the land from time immemorial. Declarations of pecuniary interest, please raise your hand to indicate if there are any members who need to declare a conflict of interest. Seeing none, we can proceed with the agenda for the Essex Region Conservation Authority Executive Committee. Jim, do you have your chair's notes as yet?
I do have them now, and I'm looking for a motion to
Approval of agenda.
you already done that? Okay, and I'm having trouble seeing the screen, but okay, I
Need a
think
motion on the approval of agenda.
yeah,
Sorry,
okay. Yep. So motion for approval of the agenda.
Larry
And,
and Kieran.
and I can't see the people.
I'll call them out for you, sir.
Okay.
Okay, it was Larry and Kieran.
Okay, Larry and Karen, anyone opposed? Seeing none, that's approved. There's no hearings this morning. Tenders, there's construction specifications for the Canard River Dike Repair Phase 2. Kevin Money can provide some context for this tender. Go ahead, Kevin.
Thank you, Chair. So this morning we're going to be opening up tenders for the Canard River Dike Repair Phase 2 project. This project is completely funded by both the federal and the provincial government. The project was initiated last year, and we're moving forward with Phase 2. Just a few days ago, the Conservation Authority received the final permit approvals required for us to proceed with this job. We are not able to actually initiate construction until after the 15th, which is when the permit is required. The permit requires us to proceed when fish spawning ends, as we're going to be doing in-water works. However, everything's on track, and so long as everything goes well here today, we'll be issuing construction, or we'll be awarding construction to one of 5 different contractors to proceed with the works. Dan Crutch, our project engineer, is here. Dan Crutch has the actual tenders and will be opening and stating the actual values from contractors. And I believe Nicole will be recording that and then showing the summary of the results at the end of the meeting, or at the end of the opening. Okay. All right, so yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the floor's now yours, Dan.
Okay, I'm opening them in the order that they appear on the screen in front of you. First one's total source. We have a bid bond. 10% of the bid amount. Signed and sealed. Tender is signed and sealed by Total Source. Total tender price, $680,373.
Apologies. Could you repeat that one more time? I didn't,
680, 373. That's it. Next bid is from South Shore. It's a bid bond. Signed and sealed. The tender is signed and sealed. Total tender price, $635,625. The next bid is from Rudak. There's a bid bond signed and sealed. Rudak's tender is signed and sealed. $2,247,000, $897.70. 2,247,000, $897.70. The next one is from Jones. There's a bid bond signed and sealed. They provided the entire tender package, so it's a little harder to find it. The bid is signed and sealed. Their price, $1,577,933.13. That's correct. The last bid is from Workington Fabricating. There's a bid bond and an agreement to bond form. We didn't ask for that, but that's fine. The tender is signed, not sealed. Total tender price, $996,722.15. Those are your results.
Thank you, Dan. And Nicole, if you could just tell me, there was an or on this information I have about a single bid. We're not considering that, are we?
we're not.
No,
We
we
have
got- we-
multiple bids.
The other
Okay.
tender. It is an
Okay.
actual tender.
Okay.
Mr. Vice
So
Chair.
go ahead, sorry. So I guess I'm looking for a motion that the tender for services related to construction specifications for the Canard River Dike Repair Phase 2 in the amount of $635,000, 625, 635 and 625 to South Shore Contracting, subject to favorable review of administration. Comments or move the motion?
I'll move it, Mr. Chair.
Okay.
Mr. Acting Chair.
Yeah, trying. Thank you, Kieran. Moved by Councillor Kieran McKenzie. Is it supported?
Yes.
Yeah, supported by Larry Verbeke. Anyone opposed? Seeing none, then that's approved. All right. Now we're looking at a tender awards for parking lot and drive lane coating at Hillman Marsh Conservation Area and Ruscombe Shores Conservation Area. Kevin, do you want to speak to this?
Yep. Thank you, Chair. Further to the last meeting that this committee had, where we received only single bids for the tar and chipping of the Ruscombe Shores and the Hillman Marsh parking lots, we entered into a single bid contract with Shepley Excavating. We opened the documents, and all the prices are before you and attached. The prices themselves were in line with previous years, so no worries there in terms of consistency of pricing. And our engineer confirmed that we looked at 2 years of prior bids, and they were all very consistent in terms of unit rate pricing. One thing we did choose to do was eliminate the tar and chipping of the, or what's before you now is a recommendation that we eliminate the tar and chipping of our canoe launch for the time being, which was valued at approximately $60,000 identified in the table before you. But we are actually undertaking some warranty works with the same company, Shepley Excavating, and we have identified a few issues where they have to do some touch-up patchwork. During those discussions, it was identified that after they do their patchwork, what would actually be best if an additional full coat would be put on. So they've provided pricing for a new full coat, which is very standard practice. Typically, you do 2 coats and then you wait a couple of years and then you do a 3rd coat. So it's not unusual. It's very normal to do that. So we actually reviewed all the pricing and all the information and had a conversation with Shelley McMullen as relates to our capital budgets and the capital budget reserves to confirm that the funds were in place. And administration's recommendation is before you that we proceed with the tar and chipping of both the Hillman Marsh and Ruscombe Shores parking areas, minus the canoe kayak launch, plus the additional 3rd layer of tar and chip at Maidstone and Copegarin conservation areas. Thank you.
Thank you, Kevin. Questions of Kevin? Go ahead, Councillor McKenzie.
Just want to make sure that what's being proposed, the additional spending, is consistent with the nonsense that the province has brought forward constraining our spending authority.
Yeah, through you, Chair. So there's a spending limit or a threshold of $500,000. So long as we're below $500,000, we don't need additional permissions from the OPCA.
Okay, thank you. Prepared to proceed at the appropriate time, Mr. Acting Chair.
Okay, so the motion is that the administration secure the services of Jeff Shepley Excavating Limited for the parking lot and drive lane surfacing, tar and chip at Hillman Marsh and Ruscombe Shores conservation areas. And further, that administration proceed with additional warranty work and improvements at Copegarin and Maidstone conservation areas, and further that the infrastructure reserve be utilized for any overages to the 2026 capital repair budget for parking lots. Looking for someone to move that.
I just indicated I'm ready to go.
Okay. Moved by Councillor McKenzie and supported by Councillor Verbeke. Anyone opposed? Saying that that's just me. And that is approved. Okay, we're looking at pre-qualification Fighting Island general contractor. Kevin, do you want to speak to that, please?
Yeah, thank you. So the Conservation Authority is undertaking another project on the Detroit River through the Detroit River Canadian Cleanup Program. On this project, we are installing, I believe it's 7 large reefs out into the river just south of Fighting Island. This is completely marine-based work. Dan Kretsch is still on the line as he is the engineer associated with this particular project. This project went through what we call a pre-qualification process, where we wanted to ensure that only qualified contractors were actually permitted to submit bids. So Landmark Engineering went through a process of coming up with a series of questions related to your qualifications, how long you've been doing this, do you have the appropriate equipment, i.e. barges, those types of things. So we've gone through that process. All of those bids or pre-qualification packages were received. Then a small meeting with both ERCA, Landmark Engineering, as well as Environment Canada, who is funding the project exclusively, met to review all of those pre-qualification packages. The information's before you. Most of them were accepted, but I believe 2 were not. So we're just looking for approval of the final list. Happy to receive any questions.
Hey, Kevin,
Yep.
if I could just elaborate a little bit more. Right now, you have before yourself a matrix with dots that indicate pass fail type thing. I did go through the scoring matrix that was provided in the pre-qualification package. Dean Construction scored 95. They were a little bit light on their project approach, but their experience, personnel, and et cetera were all full marks. Jones received a score of 87. Their project approach and quality of experience was just 1 notch short of excellent. VACA got full marks, 100. Workington got 37 with a pass and fail on the last 2 items. And Rudak, or whoever that was, got a 36 based largely on lack of experience with barge type work, just so that you've got something numbers wise to back up the matrix that's in front of you. So we're recommending that Dean, Jones, and FACA all be pre-qualified. That's it.
Okay, and so I'm assuming then the motion is regarding inviting those companies to forward tenders. Is that correct?
That's correct. It is a limited tender, Mr.
Yeah, there was one other thing I forgot to mention. J&J Marine, who works for Fighting Island, is there full time, and they have capabilities, but they were limited in terms of what information, in terms of specifics of projects in the past, they could provide without BASF's approval. So they're also one contractor that we're satisfied has the plant and experience to do the work, and they work for BASF normally. So we're recommending as well that they be invited. So those 4 contractors. Sorry about that. That's it.
Yep. No, that's a little more clear. So unless there's any other questions, go ahead, Councillor McKenzie.
Yeah, and this may not be 100% a tender question, but just kind of interested in sort of where this project came from. So looking at the report, it's a private island. I understand what we're trying to do, similar to what we did on Pesh Island, and what we're doing and why we're doing it. I was going to ask about the funding model. I hear Kevin say it's entirely funded by the feds. So that all of those things check. I just wonder about when some of these projects come forward like this, it aligns with the feds. So what at the end of the day are the resources that we're investing? And maybe it's not monetary, but Kevin's done work. Tim, I'm sure you've done work, and there's all of that work that's happening. And I understand also that it largely aligns with the mandate of the Conservation Authority. But it feels to me in a way like this is like we're almost we're delivering a project where I think to some extent maybe the authority should be compensated for some of the work that it's doing here, rather than sort of investing resources. And maybe Tim, you could unpack that for me a little bit.
Mr. Chair, all administrative costs are covered by the grant. The time and energy invested by staff to facilitate implementation of this grant. That time is covered through the grant.
That's great. Okay, thank you.
Great.
Ready to go on this one too, Jim?
Okay, so the motion is that administration invite tenders from those contractors that were pre-qualified as described in ECO 7/26. And I'm looking for a mover.
I don't know if Larry wants to get out on the action or
You
not.
said you said you were going to do it. I don't mind being second. I like being second.
All right.
All right,
There it
moved
is.
by Councillor McKenzie, supported by Councillor Beakey.
You can move adjournment, Larry.
And I agree, so it's approved unanimously. Okay, is there any new business? Seeing none. Next meeting of the ERCA Board of Directors will be held on Thursday, September 10th, starting at 6 p.m. in the council chambers. As this concludes the business of the executive committee, I require a motion, Larry, that the meeting be adjourned.
Yeah.
You sure you don't want it, Kieran?
Yeah.
You'd have a clean sweep. You'd made a motion on every one.
No, I don't like that.
I'll move it, worthy chair.
All right,
Chair.
thank you, Larry, and supported by Councillor McKenzie. That's approved. All right, we're done. We made it through it. So thanks,
Have a
everyone.
good day, everybody.
Bye.
Have a good
Thank you,
day.
everybody.
Try to stay cool.
Yeah.
Bye now.